Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to do a review on the trial of the Chicago 7. I originally wanted to watch The Five Bloods last night, but it was 2.5 hours long, so I'm like, okay, gotta watch something a little shorter, because I gotta sleep. Man's gotta sleep. So I watched this one instead. I'm gonna watch The Five Bloods, maybe next week. Yeah, I watched this one instead, and this is a movie directed by and written by Aaron Sorkin, adapted from real life events in the USA in the early 70s, late 60s, and it's about eight people on trial for inciting a riot after crossing the state line. And these seven people include, Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, Thomas Hayden. There's Rennie. There's Bobby Seale, who is the one of the leaders of the I think the Chicago chapter or some other chapter in the Black Panthers. And then there's the two other guys, and then there's David Dellinger, and they were all on trial, even though they all represent different political parties. One of them is like the Youth Party, one of them is the Democratic Party, but all of them share the same goal, and that is they want to protest in Chicago in front of the DNC because they want to stop the Vietnam War, because this war is costing a lot of lives of Americans and Vietnamese. It's causing unnecessary violence. Why not stop the war? So they were protesting, and of course, you have the police brutality. The protests got worse, and they are all on trial. And the government wants to, indict them, make them guilty, put them in jail. That's basically the government's plan. And this movie is really lives up to its title. The whole movie is one big trial. That's pretty much just it. And of course, there are, a bunch of smaller scenes, which don't take place in the courtroom, but most of the scenes are in the courtroom. It's a lot of talking. It's a very dialogue-heavy movie, and it's a very Oscar baity movie as well. Like, I know an Oscar bait movie when I see one. This one is so friggin' Oscar baity. The flow and rhythm of this movie and the style of directing of this movie is as Oscar bait as you would think it is. It's relatively slow paced, a little bit inaccessible, but not enough to make it, boring, art film-esque. It's mostly talking, maybe a little montage here and there that are not that special, kind of basic average montages, maybe a couple of funny scenes that are totally forgettable, and then we have the climax scene at the end, which is not that climactic, but just enough to make the story feel like it has a resolve, and then the movie ends. Very much your average Oscar bait movie rhythm and flow. And as far as directing style goes, Aaron Sorkin directed this movie, and it's not terribly directed, but I wouldn't say the directing blew my mind or anything, because it's very normal. It's very regular. Yeah, there really isn't anything all that special about Aaron Sorkin's directing style. It's very much your average directing style. Some long takes here and there, but not enough to be gimmicky, not enough to be, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. It's very normal. It's just very, very regular. And I really don't want to say this, because Aaron Sorkin is a legendary screenwriter in Hollywood. He's very famous, very popular, and I generally really like his scripts. But there are many points in this movie where the dialogues just try really hard to be witty, like a character says something devastating and another character has to respond in a witty way. It has to happen like that every single time, and it's just like the dialogues are trying so hard to be witty and smart and sometimes convenient, because this story has a lot of characters in it. You know, we need to be introduced to all these characters in the beginning. So in the beginning, there's just a bunch of exposition, like, oh, are we talking about this character who did this and that and this and that, or are we talking about this other character who did this and that and this and that? It's just a lot of exposition, not a lot, but enough exposition to be a natural, and it's just not the best aspect of this movie. However, there are also a few things about this movie that I kind of like. The good cast. The cast is good. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's a big cast. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the lawyer representing the government side of things, who's secretly like a good guy, but he's forced to be the lawyer for the government because he's forced to, because he can't refuse the offer, an offer he can't refuse. And then we have Mark Rylance, who actually did a really, really great job defending the Chicago 7, or actually 8 people. We have Bobby Seale's actor is really good. Sacha Baron Cohen, who you may know as, you know, Borat, Bruno, the guy from Hugo in the Martin Scorsese film. He's also the thing in Madagascar, and he's doing a serious role again, a non-comedic role, and it's always refreshing to see Sacha Baron Cohen doing a more dramatic role, and it's really nice. Even though I don't think his performance is that great or anything, I mean, his accent, his American accent. Now I know he's trying to do maybe a little bit of Southern, or not Southern, but just not the standard American accent, but there are still moments where it's clearly his own British accent. I think Eddie Redmayne as Thomas Hayden is fantastic as well, and yeah, all in all, good cast. I like the acting performances. Also, the judge in the trial. Oh, such a biased, disgusting, hateful judge who charges people with contempt whenever he wants to. It's so hateable, and the actor of the judge did a really great job at being so hateable. Yeah, and also there are these large scale protest scenes. There are a couple of protest scenes, or riot scenes, if you may. And while they're not spectacular or anything, they're not, you know, like IMAX worthy or anything. But I don't know, the way they're being shot, the way the tension is built in those scenes is pretty good. Maybe I'm biased here. You know, when I watch those scenes, you know, I almost relate to them as well, because, you know, last year, you know, the protests in Hong Kong, you know, I'm also pretty outspoken in that field, if you haven't paid enough attention. So I feel a sense of empathy to those protesters, and it really captures me. But I guess it's just me, you know. So yeah, overall, this movie isn't that special or anything. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see it being nominated for a few Oscars, maybe a screenplay award. I don't know, directing award, if they're gonna nominate Aaron Sorkin or not. I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't think they will. But maybe Best Picture, though I can't tell. Maybe Best Costume Design. Maybe the Oscars are gonna get a costume design nom for this movie. No one knows, but at the end of the day, it's a very Oscar baiting movie. I get it, but there are still a lot of good elements in this movie that I enjoy, and I think there isn't a single scene in this movie that I find boring or filler or anything. It's slow paced, but it's still trimmed. So yeah, The Trial of the Chicago 7 is a movie worth watching, and I'm giving it a decent to strong 7 out of 10. Yeah. So, have you watched The Trial of Chicago 7? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. I am going to watch The Five Bloods. I'll see if I can watch like other movies, like Thomas Winterberg, Another Round, or Wolf Walkers. I really want to watch Demon Slayer Mugen Train. I'm gonna see if I can do that because it's available in Hong Kong already in the cinemas. Yeah, I'll review a few, movies that are not in 2020 as well. So, yeah.